Tika, are you sure you want me to read this? This is in your show notes. I am not a role model. Your parents should be role models. I get paid to wreak havoc on the YouTube comic books shows just because I get paid to dunk on snowflakes doesn't mean I get to raise your kids. It's from Charles Barkley from a Nike Air commercial, a TV commercial. What are you shoving under your nose today? It's pre-recorded live before a studio audience of stuffed animals. It's St. Advil's Day Part 2. It's all weekend in Boston. I gotta tell you, it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm gonna teach you how to pour a proper pint from the can. No, I'll drink it out here. Yeah, you turn it upside down. Welcome to the Comics Coffee Table, where we take a break from the world. We're gonna leave the real world like over there. Yeah, far over there. Pull up a chair to our coffee table. Grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today. You see what I'm doing here? It's for breakfast. It's to fight back the nausea. I got to be on Ginger Ninja's show in an hour. He's an early bird because he's a late bird. He's a late night owl over in Tokyo, where that's his beat. No, he's somewhere south of Tokyo. The entire Japan is not downtown Tokyo. I know. But yeah, this is and this is just how you just do it. How to pour Guinness from an Irishman. Well, I'm a Yank. I was raised in an Irish house with the lilt of the Irish brogue everywhere and the Irish musics. Here, I'm gonna let that settle down too. I'll put that there for a moment. That's my breakfast. It's a comic book show and we're talking about beer and about not being a role model. Well, yeah. I mean, are comics for kids? I'm just going right into it. I mean, if you're new to the show, welcome. We do a bagging, boarding, and boxing show. I'm rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my entire collection. And I am getting a better sense of what my collection is worth using like this book and this book. These were given to me by my parents for Christmas last year. So this season is dedicated to my parents. I love you. Thank you. Rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my whole collection. And it's a good excuse to get to the local comic book shop. Sorry, the world's a little too loud. There we go. Labels out. I woke up this morning and I grabbed myself a beer. Ba-ba-ba-bum-bum-bum. The future's uncertain and the end is always near. Let it roll, babe. Oh, don't want to get a copyright strike. These are boxes. This is archive boxes. Magazine boxes. I don't know if that's the right term. But I've got plenty of long boxes stuffed with Funnybooks, and they need new boxes. They've done their job. They protected the comic books. So while I'm doing it, I'm going to put... If they need new bags, they need new bags. It's a tactile thing and a judgment call. But everything definitely needs more... I'm grievously bad at using boards, and it's showing in the grade of the comic books that, like, I'm noticing, like, you should have been using boards the entire time, you silly Sully. So I'm going to the local comic book shop. I'm getting bags, boards, and boxes. I'm buying them there with the markup and the inconvenience of having to lug it home. I could be getting these things at a discount. through my online supply chain with the free shipping and the built-in TV network. But how does that help keep my local comic book shop open? I think it's important. It's one of the missions of this show is to get you going back to your local comic book shop and getting supplies. Yes, we're a symbiotic, culture here. We need to go. The comic book shop is like the fulcrum of our culture. And it's really where the most decent comic book shop conversation happens. Not this outrage culture on YouTube. Sure, it's got its mileage, it has its fun, and it really brings to mind some consistent issues that are being glossed over, not addressed, or even ignored by comic book producers and voices from the fandoms and the fans. But there are good things about it too, and I'm glad to be part of it, and I'm here for that conversation, and so are you. And thank you so much. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily, that's when the show premieres. Pre-recorded live before a studio audience of stuffed animals from our Boston studios. It's Sunday, new release day. It's Sunday, March 18th, 2023. It's also the St. Patrick's Day parade here in Boston. South Boston, Massachusetts has been hosting it all my life. I'm from South Boston. I've marched in 3. It's loud, it's crass, it's kind of great if you're into that. I was just I was a kid. Oh, it's like sensory overload, seriously. And Southie was a lot different back in the 70s and 80s too. There was a lot more casual violence and public intoxication, and it was an excuse to do so. Yeah. Indeed. Awesome. And I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Over and out. Yeah. I gotta file this with the rest of them. This is Jeff Johns, Dale Eaglesham, and Art T-Bear. This is an Alex Ross cover. This is Justice Society #1 from 2007. Now, there was a previous #1 of JSA, and I've been, it's new release day, so let's just get to it. We only got 2 new releases this week. This is the brown paper bag of the Funny Book Bodega of the Comic Book Shop. Would you like a bag, sir? Yes, it costs about 7 or 8 cents extra, but that's okay. For me, it's part of the experience, the bag. It prevents me, too, from immediately rolling them up and putting them in my back pocket, of which I do. And it's unconscious sometimes. My instinct is to roll them and stuff them. So it's been to unlearn what you have learned, as Yoda said. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? We'll get to that in a second. I also want to, hey, there's a link to this book in the description, as well as links to the Overstreet Guides. The Overstreet Guides have been fascinating. I just wanted to share with you some books, the books that we use on the show. All the books that we use in this show from last year's Golden Age DC Comics 365 Days on Anchor Books from 2004, written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and photographed by Jeff Spear, you say? Given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends, and which has been surfing my coffee table ever since, which gave us a whole year of comic book shop-style conversations and content. How we got to know each other. Yeah, you can get that book. I have a link in the description to that. I have links to these 2, the books we're using this year. These are really great, and this is great information, especially if you're buying back issues. This is wonderful. If you have this is the second year in a row I bought one. I will be buying them annually going forward. It's part of my life as a comic book collector, a funny book accumulator, as I like to, put it with my usual aplomb and sense of humor. And This is great, especially because when I talk about the ages of comic books, I've done it a lot. It's one of my favorite things. I've kept my show notes from last year for those. I think I did. Did you? You must have. Let's see. Oh, wow. These are some of Pika's oldest show notes. Should we even show these? Wow. These are my sketches for the show for this year. Welcome back to the Comics Coffee Table. Yeah, we'll have to find it's here somewhere. Where did it go? I have my list of the ages, but I pretty much know them from the glossary. I got this for a reason. I got this because I wanted to have conversations about the ages of comic books. The Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, the Copper Age, the Modern Age. Before that, there was the Platinum Age, and there was the Victorian Age, and the Pioneer Age. And yeah, this is the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. It's an industry standard. I might not agree with the how the ages are presented here, because I know that it's not a fixed thing. Like, different sources have different ages. Like ComicsNet or something has like 4 ages, but the glossary of I feel that the glossary of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide is like, at least we can agree on it and use that as the basis of deeper conversations. The Atom Age. What the heck is the Atom Age? Well, the Atom Age is comics published between 1946 and 1956. So the Golden Age is a little shorter. Yet no one really uses the Atom Age. So it's more of like, so this is a standard, an industry standard, but then it's like our institutional information, I guess, as we could say, in the professional world of, no, like, we actually consider the Golden Age to be 1938 through 1955 to 1956. And to showcase number 4, the premiere of the Silver Age and Barry Allen as the Flash, which starts the Silver Age. And and you learn such good things. Like what's an ash can? Like, I tell that to all of my publisher friends that, like, they're making their own characters and their own comics and everything. And I was like, oh, I learned what an ash can was, because I watch a lot of these. I have a boom mic. I got pins on my boom mic as well. I am a cool YouTuber. Yeah, those are the pins of my mic. My boom arm. I use a blue Yeti, and I got a package deal with a boom arm for a reasonable price. And it was suggested to me upon asking. I solicited an opinion from whom I consider to be a professional, someone who's gone to broadcasting school, and someone who puts on a one heck of a good radio show and a podcast and is a good host, Mr. Thomas Connor Jr. from Midnight's Edge After Dark. I asked him, I was like, hey, Tom, what would you suggest? He said, Blue Yeti. That's it. And it was a nice, succinct answer. And I haven't been dissatisfied with it. Seriously. Yeah. It was Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic who said, you need a good microphone, a decent webcam. I got a decent webcam. It's got a ring light on it. It can shoot in HD, and it does what it needs to do. Hey, I started out on my iPhone with a clip and a tripod with a ring light on it. Yeah, and an earbud. That's how we all start. But grow from there. Grow your audience. Curate your. I love our conversations. I have a great time. If I can make the 3 p.m. live chat with you guys, it's wonderful. I'm blessed and humbled every time I see you all out there, and for every comment I get as well. I at least try to give a thumbs up, just to be like a receipt of thank you. I heard you. I see them all. and the occasional, actually the food ones, my food shorts get the most negative comments. It's true. But yeah, I found it was the glossary of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. It's a great place to come at these conversations about the ages of comic books. That's why I got it in the first place. And then I was astounded about about this is what got me into grading. Yeah, grading. There's some kind of grading thing. Let's learn more about it too. And let's see, Copperage. Let's look at Copperage. Copperage. Comics published from 1984 to 1992. M for Modern Age. Modern Age. A catch-all term applied to comics published since 1992. All right, so it's like we were in some kind of 30-year age. No, I don't believe that. And I believe there's room for conversation. There's room to contribute to this. See, my personal thing is I would like to extend the Copper Age to 2000. Make it a 14 to 15 year age, such as the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, and then make the Copper Age a little longer. So if your ages could last about 15 years. With the exception of the Golden Age, which started the whole thing. But, it just, in reality, it was like about 18 years or so. 17 to 18 years. So that kind of fits as well. If we overlook the Atom Age. But who uses the words? I've never heard... Okay, no, it's been few and far between that I've ever heard anyone use Atom Age outside of the comic book shop itself. And if you were to use Atom Age in a conversation, you're going to get a, huh? I'm pretty sure. If you say Silver Age, you know darn well what you're talking about. Bronze Age, you kind of get a head shake. Be like, that's what again? And Copper Age, most definitely. Because I've learned to use the terms Bronze Age and Copper Age in Modern Age because of the standards that I sought. Before that, I thought there was like a Golden Age, a Silver Age, a Dark Age, and a Quantum Age that we're currently in. I thought the ages were more like 25 to 30 years-ish, and but I'm not saying I was wrong, but I'm saying that there is an accepted standard, and that standard I feel and I believe comes from something such as this, the industry standard, the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. So yeah, get your own copy. It's chock full of information. What did we get this week? We only got 2 new comics this week. Great comics, both really fun comics. I'm so happy. Starting off with Mark Millar's Nemesis Reloaded, number 3 of 5. This, I didn't think I would like something hyper-violent anymore. I'm kind of like, let's put it this way. I'm seeing John Wick 4 with the gang next Sunday. And we're having a meetup, a Boston meetup. If you're around, hit us up. 3 p.m. in Boston Common Theater. John Wick, grab a ticket, and introduce yourself. We'll be the geeks that you'll recognize me. And but we got a gang, maybe 8 people, maybe more. We call ourselves the NERD, the New England Rebellion Detachment, or the Northeast Rebellion Detachment, and But yeah, Nemesis Reloaded. This really brings me back to when I met Mark Millar. Well, not physically or interpersonally, but when I understood who he was. The Mark Millar of the Authority. You know, the Mark Millar of the Ultimates, the Mark Millar of Chosen, of Wanted, and of Kick-Ass. The brutally hyper-violent, but over-the-top story. I'm not even going to show you the Jorge Jimenez art in here because it's so good. Yeah, I'm not going to show you anything. I'm just going to tell you to get it. I'm going to give you a warning. It's really, 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 really violent. It's merciless. It's pitiless. And there's a joy to our anti-protagonist. He's not an antagonist. He could be, but how could you say he's the antagonist of the story? He's the lead. He's the what's the premise of this? On purpose, Mark Millar has designed a character who's exactly like Batman, but evil. In its own universe, in its own world, and of its own motivation. You have the anti-Batman. Not the Joker. The anti-Batman. Not the Batman who laughs. Not Earth 3's Owlman either. You have something new, something different. And this is great. I mean, thank you, Mark Millar. And you know, I'm really happy with his comic books. He writes good comic books. He's a professional superhero comic book storyteller, and he gets paid to do it. And he gets good stories. He makes good books. There's a simple thing to this. I mean, it's not that you're new, that the Marvel and DC's new writers shouldn't be doing the job. Is that why aren't they being mentored and learning from the past masters to perpetuate the storytelling? Is it so important to rip down pre-existing storytelling narrative structures, such as the hero's journey, to be replaced with modernity, post-modernity, and academic things, when simple sells, and especially sells to your blue-collar people? Who's buying this? I mean, maybe it's gone to our heads that comic books are literature. Maybe maybe we're the ones who screwed the pooch by insisting that we be taken seriously, because now we can't be having fun. Hello, welcome to the Comics Coffee Table. Justice Society of America, 2022-2023, new run. Same writer, Jeff Johns. That's why I showed you that. Where are you? You're around here somewhere. I'll find you. I will find you. Yeah, here you are. Yeah. He's very familiar with these characters. He invented some of them, especially the younger ones, the legacy ones, and go with what works, with who can write good stories that will entertain the fans and bring upon new people. I mean, it's good to be experimenting with things and to try to get people who aren't buying comic books to buy comic books. But who are buying comic books? Who shows up for this? In the age of where you can get these in the high seas and read on your tablet. Day of release, too. It's, I've never done that. I've never read a pirated magazine like that. Well, not recently. Like for an old issue that I was looking, I've done that a few times, of course. Who hasn't? Yet, for new releases, like comic books, I don't use the high seas. No. Sorry. Or digital readers. I find it obnoxious. Well, I got friends in Japan. I'm big in Japan. They are huge in Japan, though. We got Wakazashi's Tea House, Gray, and we got James the Ginger Ninja Harris. They need to sustain their monthly, weekly habit digitally because the expense involved in getting an American floppy in Japan must be like 3 to 4 times that cover price every time, maybe 5 times. Exactly. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. Yeah, our new releases were simple. Yeah, the Justice Society of America. This was good because it's written for the trade. So when it's like that, I feel it's got no tension. When you have this like, it's written for the trade. That means it's a 4 to 6 to 8 act, issue thing. Of course, it's got an act structure. It does its thing. It's story told, but since it's got, there's nothing to it but story, events, and dialogue. They lack tension. I mean, I liked Jeremy Adams' Flash because it felt like it had that episodic issue-to-issue thing going on. So it sustained a level of tension, of narrative tension. There's like no narrative tension in a story where because it goes somewhere, or it has like a built-in closure. It's not about the serialized perpetuating story. I could be wrong, but I just feel like, yeah, it's beautiful. It's so well drawn. Okay, you open this thing up, and it's set in the past. We got it right at the end of World War II. We've got the unknown soldier and Sergeant Rock closing in on Per Degaton, the legendary JSA archenemy of the Yahtzee! AH, not to be confused with the Johnny Depp ex-wife. But oh my God, it starts off with pages of Jerry Ordway art. And we got Michael Janin, who does this beautiful job. I mean, Huntress is so... I love the look of Huntress. She's great. That is Helena Wayne, daughter of Catwoman and Batman. I love comic books, and you love comic books as much as I do. You're in the right place at the right time. It's been New Release Sunday. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We do. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. We talk about comic books. Cheers. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And give us thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Give a thumbs down if you didn't. I'm a big lad. I can handle it. And we will see you tomorrow again in those funny pages. Bye-bye.